Imagine waking up every single day with the power to control your thoughts, your actions, and your outcomes. What if you could stop feeling stuck? Stop letting distractions take over and start creating the life you truly want. It all starts with one thing: disciplining your mind. When you train your mind to focus, stay strong, and keep moving forward, nothing can stop you. But here's the thing, this isn't just about willpower, it's about building habits, creating a routine, and making a commitment to yourself. No one else can do this for you, but the results, they're life-changing. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to discipline your mind like a true warrior. We'll dive into why your mind often holds you back, how you can break free, and the daily steps you need to take to turn your mental strength into unstoppable success. By the end of this audiobook, you'll know exactly what it takes to build a mind that doesn't give up, doesn't get distracted, and doesn't settle. Stay tuned, because this could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Chapter 1: Why Your Mind is Holding You Back, and How to Take Control. The greatest battle you will ever fight in your life is not against the world. It's not against your circumstances. It's not against your competition. No, the greatest battle, the one that will decide whether you rise or fall, is the battle inside your own mind. You see, your mind is powerful. It has the ability to push you forward or pull you back. It can create opportunities or destroy them. It can make you a champion, or it can leave you stuck, watching as others pass you by. And here's the truth that most people don't want to face: if you don't take control of your mind, someone or something else will. Distractions, bad habits, fear, doubt. If you're not careful, these things will hijack your mind and run your life. And if that happens, you will never reach your true potential. Think about it. How many times have you had a great idea, something you knew could change your life, but then your mind started whispering, what if it doesn't work? What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? And instead of taking action, you hesitated. You let that doubt sink in. You let fear stop you. And what happened? You stayed exactly where you were. Days passed, weeks passed, years passed, and nothing changed. That's not just bad luck. That's not the world holding you back. That's your own mind working against you. And until you learn to discipline it, until you learn to take charge of your thoughts, you will always be trapped in the same cycle. The problem is, most people never even question their thoughts. They assume that whatever their mind tells them must be true. But let me ask you something. If your mind is so smart, why is it keeping you stuck? Why is it convincing you to procrastinate? Why is it telling you to settle for less? Why is it feeding you excuses? The truth is, your mind isn't always on your side. It has been shaped by years of conditioning, by society, by your experiences, by your fears, and if you don't train it, if you don't actively take control of it, it will control you. So how do you take control? How do you discipline your mind so that it works for you instead of against you? It starts with awareness. You have to start paying attention to the thoughts that are running through your head every single day. You have to catch yourself when you start making excuses. You have to recognize when fear is creeping in. And most importantly, you have to challenge those thoughts. When your mind tells you you're not good enough, you don't just accept it, you fight back. You say, I will make myself good enough. When your mind says, I'll do it later, you say, no, I do it now. When your mind says, it's too hard, you say, I will find a way. This is what mental discipline looks like. It's not about waiting until you feel like taking action. It's about taking action even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, your mind will always try to take the easy way out. It will tell you to sleep in instead of getting up early. It will tell you to watch another video instead of working on your goals. It will tell you that you deserve a break when you haven't even started. And if you listen to it, if you let your mind run unchecked, you will never build the discipline you need to succeed. That's why you have to make a decision right now, that from this moment forward, you are in control. Not your fears, not your bad habits, not your excuses. You have to set rules for yourself, rules that you follow no matter what. If you say you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., you wake up at 5 a.m. No snooze button, no negotiation. If you say you're going to work out, you work out, even if you don't feel like it. If you say you're going to focus on your business, you focus, no distractions, no excuses. This is how you train your mind. This is how you build mental discipline. And once you master this, everything in your life changes. You stop procrastinating. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for motivation. You become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter what. And let me tell you something, when you start living this way, people will notice. They will see your discipline. They will see your focus. They will see your results. And they will wonder, how does this person do it? How do they stay so committed? How do they keep pushing forward when everyone else is making excuses? And the answer will be simple. You took control of your mind. Because at the end of the day, that's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's discipline. It's the ability to make yourself do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to ignore distractions, to push past discomfort, to stay focused on your goals no matter what. And the best part, this isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's something you train. And if you start today, if you make the decision right now to take control of your thoughts, to discipline your mind, then nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, I want you to take control of your mind. I want you to catch yourself when you start making excuses. I want you to push through discomfort. I want you to do what needs to be done, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when every part of you wants to quit. Because if you can do that, if you can build that level of discipline, then there is no limit to what you can achieve. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. The choice is yours. So what will it be? Will you keep letting your mind hold you back? Or will you take control and start living the life you were meant to live? The answer is in your hands. And the time to decide is now. Chapter 2. One habit that weakens your mind. Most people do this daily. You want to know the real reason why people struggle, why they can't seem to stay focused, why their dreams stay dreams instead of becoming reality. It's not because they aren't smart enough. It's not because they don't have opportunities. It's because they have a habit, one single habit, that is destroying their ability to discipline their mind. And what's worse, they do it every single day without even realizing it. You see, every time you tell yourself, "I'll do it later," you weaken your mind. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you train your brain to accept procrastination. Every time you choose comfort over progress, you reinforce the idea that it's okay to delay action. And before you know it, this becomes your default setting. You start hesitating. You start making excuses. You start convincing yourself that it's fine to put things off until tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow never comes. If you don't take action today, you won't take action tomorrow either. And if you don't learn how to break this habit, you will wake up one day wondering where all your time went and why nothing in your life has changed. This is why so many people feel stuck. They have dreams, They have goals, they have plans, but they never act on them. They tell themselves they need more time. They need to feel motivated. They need the right moment. But let me tell you something, there is no right moment. There is no perfect time. If you're waiting for everything to feel just right before you take action, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. The truth is, your mind will always try to take the easy way out. It will tell you that you have plenty of time. It will tell you that it's okay to relax today and work hard tomorrow. It will tell you that a little delay won't hurt. And that is exactly how people lose years of their lives, one excuse at a time. But here's where things get serious. Every time you choose to delay, every time you let yourself off the hook, you're not just losing time, you're losing confidence. You're teaching yourself that you can't be trusted to follow through. You're proving to yourself that when things get tough, you back down. And the more you do this, the harder it becomes to break free. That's why some people never change, because they've trained their mind to expect failure before they even start. But the good news, you can rewire your brain. You can rebuild your discipline. You can become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter what. But it starts with breaking the habit of hesitation. It starts with catching yourself in the moment when your mind says, "I'll do it later," and saying, "No, I do it now." Imagine this, you wake up in the morning, and the first thought in your head is, "I don't feel like getting up." That is the moment that defines your entire day. If you hit snooze, you are training your brain to choose comfort over discipline. If you roll over and say, 5 more minutes, you are teaching yourself that your feelings are in control, not you. But if you sit up, put your feet on the ground and start moving, whether you feel like it or not, you are taking back control. And the more you do this, the stronger you become. The real difference between successful people and those who struggle isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It's discipline. It's the ability to act even when they don't feel like it. It's the ability to say, "I do what needs to be done," no excuses, no delays. Because here's something most people don't realize, motivation is unreliable. If you only take action when you feel motivated, you will never be consistent. Discipline is what separates those who win from those who spend their lives making excuses. So let's make this real. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's that workout you keep skipping. Maybe it's that business idea you've been too afraid to start. Maybe it's the book you've been wanting to write, the skill you've been wanting to learn, the project you've been wanting to finish. Whatever it is, I want you to realize something. If you don't start today, you probably won't start tomorrow either. And if you don't break this habit now, it will follow you for the rest of your life. That's why you have to make a decision right now. You have to decide that from this moment forward, you no longer wait for motivation. You no longer make excuses. You no longer delay what needs to be done. You act. You move. You take control. And when your mind starts whispering, maybe later, you shut it down. You say, "No, I do it now." Because let me tell you something, your future is being shaped right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, right now. The choices you make in this moment will decide where you end up. If you keep hesitating, if you keep waiting, you will stay exactly where you are. But if you start today, if you push through the resistance, if you build the discipline to take action no matter what, you will look back one day and realize that this was the moment that changed everything. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it later," stop, take action immediately. No matter how small, no matter how uncomfortable, take one step forward. Because that is how you break the habit. That is how you rewire your mind. That is how you take back control. And once you do that, once you prove to yourself that you can be disciplined, that you can take action, that you can do what needs to be done, nothing, absolutely nothing, will be able to stop you. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. The choice is yours. But if you choose discipline, if you choose action, if you choose to take control, then your success is inevitable. Chapter 3. How to force yourself to stay focused even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the key to everything you want in life. If you don't have discipline, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how talented you are, or how many opportunities come your way, you won't follow through. You won't take action when it matters. And you'll keep wondering why things aren't changing for you. That's why today you're going to learn how to force yourself to stay focused, even when you don't feel like it. Because the truth is, success doesn't come to the people who feel like working hard. It comes to the people who work hard no matter how they feel. The problem isn't that you're not capable. The problem is that you're letting your emotions decide your actions. You're letting your mood dictate your level of effort. If you wake up feeling motivated, you work hard. If you wake up feeling lazy, you slack off. And that right there is why you can't stay consistent. If you rely on feelings to get things done, you will never be in control of your life. Because feelings change. They come and go. But discipline stays. Discipline is the ability to take action, whether you feel like it or not. And once you master that, nothing will be able to stop you. The biggest mistake people make is waiting until they feel ready. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel more motivated. But that's a lie. If you wait until you feel like it, you'll never start. Because motivation is unreliable. It shows up when it wants to, and disappears when things get hard. And if you depend on it, you'll always struggle. That's why successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They rely on discipline. They rely on habits that force them to take action, no matter what. So how do you do this? How do you force yourself to stay focused, even when your mind is telling you to quit? You start by making a decision, a real decision. Not the kind where you say, I'll try. Not the kind where you say, I hope I can. A decision where you tell yourself, no matter what, I will do this. That means no excuses, no delays, no backing out when things get tough. You decide right now that from this moment forward, you are the kind of person who stays focused, no matter what. And once you make that decision, you stick to it, like your life depends on it. Now, let's talk about the real problem, distractions. You don't lose focus because you're lazy. You lose focus because your environment is designed to steal your attention. Every time your phone buzzes, every time a notification pops up, every time you get sidetracked scrolling through nonsense, your brain is being trained to lose focus. And the more you allow it, the harder it becomes to concentrate. That's why you have to take control. You have to eliminate anything that pulls you away from what matters. Because focus isn't just about what you do, it's about what you remove. If you want to stay disciplined, you have to stop letting distractions win. The secret to staying focused is simple. You need a system that makes it impossible to quit. A system that forces you to stay on track. And that system starts with setting non-negotiable time blocks. That means when you say you're going to work, you work, no breaks. No checking your phone, no stopping just because you don't feel like it. You set the time, and you follow through. Because the more you do this, the more you train your brain to stay locked in. But here's the part most people ignore. Your brain needs a reason. If you don't have a strong enough reason for why you need to stay focused, you will always find a way to get distracted. You have to make the decision that your goals are more important than your excuses. You have to remind yourself every single day why you started. Because when your why is strong enough, your discipline becomes automatic. You don't have to force yourself to stay focused. It just happens. Let's be real though. You will have moments where your mind wants to wander. You will have days where focus feels impossible. And when that happens, you have to snap yourself back in. You have to catch yourself and say, no, I stay locked in. And if that means putting your phone in another room, do it. If that means waking up earlier so no one interrupts you, do it. If that means creating a strict routine where you have no choice but to work, do it. Because if you don't control your mind, it will control you. And here's the best part. Once you master this, everything in your life will change. You will get more done in a week than most people do in a month. You will move faster toward your goals than you ever thought possible. And you will build a level of discipline so strong that nothing will be able to shake you. Because when you teach yourself how to stay focused, you don't just improve your work, you improve your entire life. So now it's time to make a choice. You can keep letting distractions win. You can keep allowing your feelings to dictate your actions. You can keep making excuses for why you just can't focus. Or you can take control. You can decide that from this moment forward, you are done with hesitation. You are done with distractions. You are done letting your mind control you. And instead, you become the person who stays locked in, no matter what. It won't be easy at first. Your mind will fight back. It will tell you to take breaks. It will try to convince you that you deserve to relax. But if you push through, if you stay locked in, if you build the discipline to work even when you don't feel like it, you will become unstoppable. And once you get to that level, once you prove to yourself that you can focus, that you can stay disciplined, that you can do what needs to be done, nothing, absolutely nothing will be able to stop you. The choice is yours. Stay focused or stay stuck. You decide. Chapter 4. Your brain is designed to work against you. Here's how to fix it. Your mind is not designed to make you successful. It is not programmed to push you toward greatness, to help you stay focused, or to make sure you do what needs to be done. Your mind is designed for survival. It is built to keep you safe, to avoid risk, to conserve energy, and to stay in comfort. That's why every time you try to do something difficult, your brain fights back. It tells you to take a break, to relax, to put it off until later. It tricks you into thinking that effort is the enemy, when in reality, effort is the only way forward. This is why so many people struggle. They don't realize that their own brain is working against them. They don't understand that the resistance they feel when they try to focus, when they try to work hard, when they try to build new habits, it's not a sign to stop. It's a test of whether or not you are strong enough to push through, to override the automatic programming of your mind, and to take control of your own destiny. If you don't learn how to reprogram your brain, you will always struggle. You will always fall into the same patterns of procrastination, hesitation, and self-doubt. You will always find yourself saying, "I'll do it later," "I'm not in the mood," or "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow never comes. Later turns into never. And before you know it, another year has passed, and you're in the same place, making the same excuses, wondering why nothing has changed. The truth is, your brain is not your boss. It is a tool, and like any tool, it can be trained, sharpened, and improved. You are not a slave to your thoughts. You are the master. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because now, instead of listening to the voice in your head that tells you to quit, you override it. Instead of believing the excuses your mind creates, you reject them. Instead of waiting for motivation to strike, you create your own momentum. This is how discipline is built. Not by waiting until you feel like doing the work, but by doing the work regardless of how you feel. This is how successful people separate themselves from everyone else. They understand that their brain will always try to take the easy way out, and they refuse to let that happen. They override the system. They rewire their thinking, and in doing so, they take control of their own future. So how do you do this? How do you fix the way your brain works so that it stops holding you back and starts working for you instead of against you? The first step is awareness. You have to recognize the patterns. You have to catch yourself in the moment when your brain tries to convince you to stop. When you say, "I'll do it later," you need to pause and ask yourself, why later? Why not now? When you feel the urge to check your phone instead of focusing, you need to stop and say, "No, I stay locked in." The more you catch yourself, the more you weaken the old patterns that have kept you stuck. The second step is action. Once you recognize the excuses, you have to push through them. You have to act before your brain has the chance to talk you out of it. The longer you wait, the stronger the resistance becomes. That's why the best way to beat hesitation is to move immediately. Don't negotiate with your mind. Don't give yourself time to think about whether you feel like doing it. Just do it. And the third step, repetition. Because one time isn't enough. Rewiring your brain is not something you do once and then you're done. It's something you have to do every single day. Every time you push through resistance, you strengthen your mental toughness. Every time you override an excuse, you take back control. Every time you do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, you become stronger. And eventually, it becomes automatic. Your brain starts to work for you instead of against you. But here's the thing, you have to want it bad enough. Because this isn't easy. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. It's a battle between who you are now and who you want to become. And the only way to win is to decide that you are done with hesitation, done with excuses, and done with letting your brain control you. You decide that from now on, you are in charge. And once you do that, once you prove to yourself that you have the power to override the resistance, your entire life will change. You will no longer be someone who waits, who hesitates, who lets their mind control them. You will be someone who takes action, who follows through, who gets things done no matter what. And when you reach that level, nothing will be able to stop you. So the question is, are you ready to take control? Because if you are, then the time to start is now. Not tomorrow, not later, not when you feel like it. Right now. Because the sooner you start, the sooner you win. Chapter 5. The daily mental routine that will make you unstoppable. Discipline is not something you do once in a while. It is something you live by, something that shapes every decision, every action, and every outcome in your life. If you don't have a daily routine that builds your mental strength, you will always struggle with inconsistency. And inconsistency is the enemy of success. It keeps you trapped in cycles of motivation and burnout, of starting and stopping, of wanting more but never having the discipline to follow through. If you want to become unstoppable, you have to build a routine that reinforces discipline every single day, no matter how you feel, no matter what happens, no matter what distractions come your way. Because here's the truth, if you don't have a system in place, you will default to your old habits. Your mind will look for the easy way out. It will convince you to put things off, to take shortcuts, to avoid discomfort. That's why discipline is not about motivation. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's about building a structure that forces you to take action even when you don't feel like it. It's about designing a routine that eliminates excuses and keeps you on track no matter what. And this is where most people fail. They think discipline is about willpower, about pushing through the struggle every day with sheer determination, but willpower is unreliable. Some days you have it, some days you don't. That's why successful people don't rely on willpower, they rely on structure. They create systems that make discipline automatic. They don't wake up and ask themselves, should I do this today? They don't negotiate with themselves. They just do it because it's part of who they are. So how do you build that kind of discipline? How do you create a daily routine that makes you unstoppable? It starts with controlling the first and last hour of your day, because how you start and end your day determines everything. If you wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone, scroll through social media, or hit snooze, you are already losing. You are already letting distractions control you before the day even begins. But if you wake up and immediately take control, by moving your body, by feeding your mind, by setting clear intentions, you are programming yourself for success before the world has a chance to interfere. And the same goes for the end of your day. If you go to bed with a mind full of distractions, if you waste your last few hours on meaningless activities, you are weakening your ability to focus, to think clearly, to stay disciplined. But if you end your day with reflection, with preparation, with intentional habits, you wake up ready to attack the next day with clarity and purpose. That's why a daily mental routine is so important. It's not about doing something once and expecting results. It's about consistency, about stacking small wins every single day until they become part of who you are. And the best part, it doesn't take hours, it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler the better. What matters is that you do it every single day, no matter what. So here's what you do. You set a standard for yourself. You decide what kind of person you want to be, and then you design your routine to match that identity. You don't leave it to chance. You don't hope that you'll be disciplined. You make it non-negotiable. And when life gets hard, when you don't feel like doing it, when everything in you wants to take the easy way out, you remind yourself of this discipline is what separates winners from everyone else. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not intelligence. It's discipline. And the best part, once you build it, once you prove to yourself that you can be consistent, you will never go back to your old ways. Because once you experience what it feels like to be in control of your mind, to be the master of your actions, to wake up every day with purpose and power, you will never settle for anything less. So don't wait. Don't put it off. Start today. Start now. Because every day you delay is another day wasted, and you don't have time to waste. Your future is waiting. Your potential is waiting. And the only thing standing in your way is the decision to commit. So commit. Be disciplined, and watch how your entire life transforms. Chapter 6. Most people waste 90% of their mental energy. Here's how to fix that. Your mind is like a battery. It has a limited amount of energy every single day. And if you're not careful, you will drain it before you ever get to the things that truly matter. That's the biggest mistake people make. They waste their mental energy on things that add no value to their life. They spend hours scrolling, worrying, overthinking, arguing, getting distracted, jumping from one thing to another, until they have nothing left for what actually moves them forward. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why they can't focus, why they procrastinate, why they never seem to have enough energy to work on their goals. It's not because they aren't capable, it's because they are exhausted from giving their energy to the wrong things. If you don't control where your mental energy goes, it will control you. You will get pulled into distractions, into negativity, into endless cycles of doing things that make you feel busy but never actually productive. And that's why people stay average. They spend 90% of their mental energy on things that don't push them forward, and then they only have 10% left to chase their dreams. But here's the truth. The people who win in life don't have more energy than you. They don't have more hours in the day. They just use their energy better. They know where to focus. They know what to ignore. They know that if they waste their mental energy on nonsense, they won't have enough left to build the life they want. And that's the difference. Success is not about doing everything. It's about knowing what not to do. It's about protecting your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Every thought you entertain, every decision you make, every conversation you engage in, every distraction you give into is either fueling your success or draining it. And if you're constantly drained, if you're constantly overwhelmed, if you feel like you're running in circles but getting nowhere, it's not because you're incapable, it's because you are spending your energy in the wrong places. So let me ask you this. How much of your mental energy is going toward things that truly matter? How much of your focus is being wasted on things that do nothing for your future? Be honest with yourself, because if you don't become aware of it, you'll never change it. And if you never change it, you will stay stuck exactly where you are, watching other people succeed while you make excuses about why you can't. The good news is, you can fix this. You can take back control, but it requires discipline. It requires you to stop reacting to everything. It requires you to stop giving your attention to things that don't deserve it. And it requires you to build habits that protect your mental energy every single day. That means cutting out the distractions, cutting out the overthinking, cutting out the useless time spent on things that add no value to your life. Because here's the thing, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something that could change your life. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, every time you let a distraction win, every time you let your mind wander into negativity, you are giving away your power. So how do you fix it? How do you take back control? You have to start being intentional with your mental energy. You have to treat it like the limited resource it is. You have to wake up every day and decide, where am I going to put my focus? What is actually worth my time? What do I need to stop giving my energy to? Because if you don't make that decision, the world will make it for you. And the world will pull you into distractions, into meaningless conversations, into wasting hours on things that don't push you forward. And the truth is, once you master this, your entire life changes. You will get more done in a day than you used to get done in a week. You will feel clear, focused, unstoppable. You will finally have the energy to chase your dreams, to build something real, to create a life that actually excites you. But it all starts with discipline. It starts with guarding your mental energy like your future depends on it, because it does. So right now, make the decision. Decide that from this moment forward, you are no longer going to waste your energy on things that don't matter. Decide that your focus is yours, your attention is yours, your energy is yours, and you will not give it away to anything that doesn't serve your future. Because the second you take back control of your mind, you take back control of your life. And that's when everything changes. Chapter 7. The fastest way to build mental toughness. No matter how weak you feel right now, do you want to become unstoppable? Do you want to be that person who can face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and still keep moving forward? Let me tell you something. Mental toughness is the secret. It's the one thing that will take you from where you are now to where you've always dreamed of being. But here's the thing you need to understand. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's not some mystical trait that only a few people have. It's a skill, and it can be developed by anyone. That's right, anyone. You may be thinking, but I'm not tough. I'm weak. I get distracted. I don't stick with things. Well, that's exactly why you need to start building mental toughness right now. You don't have to feel strong to start, but you must start if you ever want to feel strong. The key here is consistency, the ability to push through when it feels like everything is working against you, and the relentless commitment to becoming better every single day. You see, mental toughness isn't about being a robot or some emotionless machine who never feels pain or discomfort. That's not it. Mental toughness is about the ability to feel that discomfort, feel that fear, and keep going. It's about looking at a difficult situation, facing that gut-wrenching moment when you want to quit, and saying to yourself, "No, I'm not giving up. Not now, not ever." It's about knowing that you are stronger than your circumstances, stronger than the negative thoughts that pop into your head, stronger than the voice that tells you to quit, and stronger than the fear that tries to hold you back. Let me share something with you. Building mental toughness is like building muscle. You don't wake up one morning with six-pack abs and bulging biceps, right? You have to work for it. And just like any muscle, your mental strength requires repetition, resilience, and constant work. That means every time you face a challenge, every time you feel like giving up, that's your opportunity to grow stronger. Every time you push through that urge to quit, every time you keep going when everything in you is screaming to stop, that's when you build mental toughness. Let's be clear about something. You're not going to feel tough every day. There will be days when it feels impossible. There will be times when you feel exhausted, when your mind is filled with self-doubt, when the fear of failure is so loud you can't even hear your own thoughts. But that's exactly the point. Those moments are your training ground. That's where the real growth happens. The discomfort you feel is the signal that you are on the path to greatness. You see, the discomfort doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're changing. It means you're leveling up. It means you're doing the work that will get you to the next level of your life. So how do you start building mental toughness, especially if you're feeling weak right now? Start small. I know you want to jump in and do everything at once. I know you want to go from 0 to 100 and be perfect right now. But that's not how this works. You need to start where you are, not where you wish you were. The key is consistency, and the best way to build that consistency is by taking small, manageable steps every single day. You don't need to run a marathon tomorrow to start building toughness. It might be as simple as waking up earlier than usual. Maybe it's about sticking to a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. Maybe it's getting to the gym when every part of you wants to stay in bed. Maybe it's pushing through that one task that you've been putting off. Whatever it is, start with one small step. Just one. When you do that, you're building the muscle of discipline. And when you build the muscle of discipline, you start to develop mental toughness. But don't think for a second that this process is easy. It won't be. You will face setbacks. You will have moments where you feel like you're making zero progress. You'll question whether it's all worth it. But the real secret to mental toughness is showing up even when it's hard, when it doesn't feel good, when you're tired, when you feel weak. That's the magic right there. You have to embrace discomfort. You have to love the struggle. I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. You will never grow unless you push yourself outside your comfort zone. Mental toughness isn't about being able to lift 500 pounds or sprint a marathon. It's about being able to push through the mental and emotional barriers that want to keep you from your goals. It's about saying, I'm going to do this, no matter what, even when you don't feel like it. That's what makes you tough. Here's the truth. You're going to feel like quitting. It's inevitable. But the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. It's who quits and who doesn't. The person who doesn't quit has trained their mind to handle the discomfort, the setbacks, and the failures. The person who doesn't quit understands that the journey isn't linear, that success doesn't happen overnight, and that each failure is just another stepping stone to greatness. Now, here's something I want you to realize. Mental toughness doesn't happen by accident. You don't wake up one day and suddenly find that you're a resilient, unstoppable force. It's a choice. It's a daily commitment. It's a decision you make every single day, every single moment, to keep going even when the road gets tough. And the more you do that, the stronger you become. It's that simple. Every time you push through the pain, every time you keep going when you feel like you can't, you build the mental strength that will carry you through anything. There's a saying I want you to remember: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's not just a cliche. It's a law of life. The obstacles you face, the challenges you endure, the moments that try to break you, they're actually what build your strength. If you want to become mentally tough, you have to look at those challenges as opportunities. You have to change your mindset and realize that every hardship is just another chance to build your toughness. Don't avoid the struggle. Embrace it. Welcome it, because in the end it's the struggle that shapes you into the person you're meant to become. And let's be real for a second, the road to mental toughness is a long one. It's not a quick fix, and it's not an easy journey. But if you commit to showing up every day, if you commit to the small actions that build your mental strength, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. You'll look back one day and realize that you're not the same person you were before. You'll be stronger, more resilient, more focused, and more determined than you ever thought possible. That's the power of mental toughness. So no matter how weak you feel right now, no matter how many times you've failed in the past, today is the day to start. Start small. Start where you are. But start. And don't stop. Keep pushing. Keep showing up. Because the moment you do, you will begin to build the mental toughness that will carry you through any challenge life throws at you. And let me tell you, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, more powerful than that. Chapter 8. How to shut down negative thoughts before they destroy you. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It shapes your actions, determines your destiny, and ultimately controls the life you lead. But here's the truth. Your mind can also be your biggest enemy. It can be the source of every self-doubt, every fear, every negative thought that keeps you from reaching your full potential. The good news: you have the power to control it. You have the power to shut down those negative thoughts before they even take root and start to destroy everything you've worked so hard for. You have the ability to master your mind, not let your mind master you. Let me tell you something, we all have those thoughts. We all have the moments when our inner critic tells us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy of success. It's normal. What matters is what you do with those thoughts. Do you let them control you? Do you let them dictate your actions and decisions? Or do you stop them in their tracks and refuse to let them shape your reality? That's the difference between those who succeed and those who fall short. The key to shutting down negative thoughts is realizing that they're not the truth. They're just thoughts, nothing more. But they can feel real, can't they? It's easy to start believing them when they come at you so loudly and relentlessly. You start to think that those thoughts must be true because they keep repeating themselves over and over. But here's the truth. Negative thoughts are just stories your mind is telling you, and you can rewrite that story at any time. The first step to shutting down negative thoughts is awareness. You have to catch them as they come up. The moment you start thinking, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work," you need to recognize that those thoughts are not facts. They're just your mind trying to sabotage your progress. And once you recognize that, you have the power to stop them. You can say to yourself, "No, I'm not going to let this thought control me. I'm not going to let it define me." This is where most people go wrong. They let negative thoughts go unchecked. They let them simmer in their minds, feeding them with more and more doubt. And over time, these thoughts grow, take over, and start to dictate their reality. But you don't have to let that happen. You can stop it before it even gets started. Here's a technique that works. When a negative thought comes in, immediately replace it with a positive one. Let's say you're thinking, "I'm not good enough to do this." You immediately counter that thought with, "I am more than capable of handling this. I have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to succeed." It's that simple. It doesn't have to be a big, complex process. You just need to reframe the thought. This takes practice, and it takes discipline. It's not going to happen overnight. But every time you stop a negative thought and replace it with a positive one, you're training your brain to think differently. You're rewiring your mind to default to positive thinking instead of negative thinking. And over time, this becomes a habit. A powerful habit that starts to shape the way you see yourself, the way you see the world, and the way you approach challenges. But what happens when those negative thoughts feel overwhelming? What do you do when it feels like there's no way out of that dark mental space? This is where you need to tap into your power of choice. You have the ability to choose what you focus on. If you find yourself stuck in a spiral of negativity, you can choose to focus on the positive instead. You can focus on the things that are going right in your life, the things that you've already accomplished, the things that you've overcome. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you can use to shut down negative thoughts. When you shift your focus to what you're grateful for, it becomes much harder for negative thoughts to take over. I know that it's not always easy. Some days those negative thoughts feel so loud, so intense, and so convincing that it feels impossible to shut them down. But here's the thing you need to understand. You don't have to believe every thought you think. Just because a thought pops into your mind doesn't mean it's true. Your mind will try to convince you that you can't do something, that you're not enough, that you'll never succeed. But those are just lies. Your mind is telling you. And you don't have to buy into them. One of the most powerful things you can do is to take control of your environment. Surround yourself with positivity, people who uplift you, and things that inspire you. When you create an environment that supports your success, it becomes much harder for negative thoughts to take hold. You see, negativity thrives in environments where there's nothing to challenge it. But when you surround yourself with positive energy, motivation, and inspiration, those negative thoughts start to lose their power. Now let's talk about the power of action. When you're feeling stuck in negative thinking, the worst thing you can do is nothing. Sitting and dwelling on those thoughts only gives them more power. Taking action is the antidote to negative thinking, even if you don't feel like it. Even if you don't believe in yourself in that moment, you have to take action. Do something. Take one step forward, no matter how small it may seem. Because every step you take in the face of negativity is a step that weakens those negative thoughts and makes you stronger. Here's another strategy that can help: affirmations. Yes, I know it sounds simple, but they work. You have the ability to reprogram your mind with the right words. Every time you feel a negative thought creeping in, speak something positive to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I am capable, I am powerful, I am worthy of success. These affirmations might seem silly at first, but over time they begin to sink in. They begin to change the way you view yourself and the world around you. You start to believe in your own potential, and you stop letting negative thoughts control your actions. The truth is, you can never fully eliminate negative thoughts. They'll always be there, lurking in the background. But you don't have to let them control your life. You don't have to let them destroy your dreams. The key is to stop them in their tracks, to shut them down before they have a chance to take root. You have the power to control your mind, and that's the power to create the life you want. So the next time you feel a negative thought coming on, don't give it power. Don't let it dictate your actions. Catch it, challenge it, and change it. Because you are stronger than your negative thoughts, and you have the power to create the life you deserve. And when you take control of your mind, there's nothing that can stop you. Nothing at all. Chapter 9. The secret trick to staying disciplined when life gets hard. Success isn't just about how hard you work when things are going great. It's about how you respond when everything falls apart. The truth is, life will throw you curveballs. You'll face challenges that seem impossible to overcome, situations that make you want to throw in the towel. But this is where you separate yourself from the pack. This is where discipline becomes your greatest weapon. When everything is going wrong, discipline is the key to keeping you moving forward, to ensuring that you don't quit, to making sure that you rise above every obstacle that stands in your way. So, what's the secret trick to staying disciplined when life gets hard? It's simple. You must make the decision to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. This is where most people fail. When life gets tough, they let their emotions take over. They let frustration, doubt, and fear take the wheel. But you have a choice. You can decide right now that no matter what happens, no matter how difficult things get, you will stay disciplined and keep pushing forward. The difference between success and failure isn't talent or luck. It's the ability to keep going when others stop. Think about it for a moment. When you're facing challenges, when things aren't going the way you planned, it's easy to feel like giving up is the only option. You tell yourself, I've been working so hard and nothing's changing. Or, I'm exhausted, I can't keep pushing like this. And in those moments, it's tempting to throw in the towel. But here's the thing, if you give up now, if you let your emotions dictate your actions, you'll never get to experience the rewards of your hard work. You'll never see what you're truly capable of. Discipline is about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, even when everything inside you is screaming to quit. And here's the most important part. Discipline is a habit. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. It's something you develop over time. So, when life gets hard, you need to remind yourself that this is the time to double down on your commitment, to push yourself even harder, to stay disciplined no matter what. But let's get real for a second. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's not about getting everything right all the time. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work that needs to be done. Even if it's just one small step forward, even if it feels like you're not making any progress at all, you have to keep going. It's the small, consistent actions that build momentum and lead to big results. So, when life is throwing everything at you, remember that discipline isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about not quitting. One of the most powerful things you can do when life gets tough is to take a step back and refocus. Remind yourself why you started in the first place. What's your purpose? What's your why? When you're clear on your purpose, when you remember why you're working so hard, it becomes a lot easier to stay disciplined. Your why is the fuel that keeps you going, especially when you're faced with obstacles. When you feel like giving up, reconnecting with your purpose will give you the strength to keep moving forward. Now, here's another secret trick. Break things down into smaller, more manageable tasks. When life is overwhelming and you feel like there's too much on your plate, it's easy to become paralyzed by the sheer amount of work in front of you. But if you break things down into small, actionable steps, you'll feel more in control. Each small task completed gives you a sense of accomplishment and builds the momentum you need to keep going. The key here is to focus on one thing at a time. You don't need to solve everything at once. You just need to take one step in the right direction. Another important aspect of discipline is consistency. Discipline is about showing up every day, whether you feel like it or not. It's about doing the work even when you're not inspired, even when you're not motivated. And I'll tell you something, motivation will come and go. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, like you can conquer anything. Other days you'll feel like everything is falling apart. That's normal. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful is the ability to stay consistent no matter what. You don't need to be motivated every single day to be disciplined. You just need to keep showing up. And that's how you build the life you want. Let's also talk about the power of routine. When life gets hard, your routine becomes your anchor. It becomes the thing that keeps you grounded, the thing that keeps you moving forward, even when everything else feels chaotic. Your routine is your commitment to yourself. It's the promise you make to show up, day in and day out, no matter what life throws your way. Your routine doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as waking up early, making your bed, and committing to a few key tasks each day. But it's that routine that will carry you through the tough times, that will keep you disciplined when everything else feels uncertain. Here's something else to consider. Don't be afraid to lean on your support system. When life gets tough, it's easy to try to handle everything on your own. But the truth is, we all need help sometimes. You don't have to go through challenges alone. Reach out to the people who care about you. Talk to a friend, mentor or coach who can help keep you accountable. When you have people in your corner who believe in you, it becomes easier to stay disciplined, even when the road gets rough. And here's one more secret for you. Celebrate the small wins. When life is tough, it's easy to focus on what's not working, to feel like you're not making any progress. But the truth is, every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Celebrate it, acknowledge the work you've done, even if it feels like you haven't accomplished everything you wanted. This will boost your motivation and help you stay disciplined in the long run. The reality is that life is never going to be easy. There will always be challenges, setbacks, and obstacles in your way. But when you commit to staying disciplined, when you decide that nothing is going to stop you, you'll find that you're capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. Discipline is the secret weapon that will carry you through even the toughest of times. So, no matter what life throws your way, remember this: discipline is the key to getting through it. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have everything figured out. But if you commit to staying disciplined, to showing up every day, and doing the work, you will get through it. You will come out stronger on the other side. And when you do, you'll be proud of the person you've become, the person who kept going, even when life got hard. Chapter 10. Train your mind like a warrior and watch how your life transforms. You have within you the potential to become unstoppable. You have the power to shape your life, to conquer every obstacle, to rise above every challenge. But here's the truth. None of that will happen unless you take control of your mind. If you want to create the life you've always dreamed of, you have to train your mind like a warrior every single day. You have to develop a mindset that will push you forward, even when you feel like quitting, and keep you grounded, even when the world around you is chaotic. The world doesn't owe you anything. It's not going to give you success on a silver platter. But there is one thing you can control in this life, and that is the power of your mind. If you want to be successful, if you want to achieve greatness, you have to start by mastering the most powerful tool you have, your mind. Because the way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the life you create for yourself. Think about a warrior. What comes to mind? Maybe you think of someone who's tough, determined, and relentless. You picture someone who never gives up, who keeps fighting no matter how many times they fall. And the truth is, that's exactly what you need to become. You need to train your mind like a warrior, so that when life knocks you down, you get back up. When things don't go your way, you push forward. When people tell you it's impossible, you find a way to make it happen. That's the mindset of a warrior, and that's the mindset you need if you want to transform your life. So how do you train your mind like a warrior? First, it starts with discipline. You have to commit to developing your mental strength, just like you would commit to working out your body. You can't expect to wake up one day and have a warrior's mindset if you haven't been practicing it. Discipline is the foundation of everything. You don't wait until you feel like it. You don't let your emotions decide for you. You commit every single day to doing the work, to building the mental strength you need to face whatever comes your way. Every warrior has a routine, a set of practices that keep them sharp, that keep them prepared for battle, and you need that too. You need a mental routine that will keep your mind sharp, that will keep you focused, that will keep you in control no matter what life throws at you. This routine doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as starting your day with a few minutes of meditation or journaling, reading something that inspires you, or taking a few moments to reflect on your goals and your purpose. The point is, you need to start your day with intention. You need to set the tone for the rest of the day, and that starts with training your mind. But discipline alone won't get you there. You also need resilience. You need to develop the ability to keep going when things get tough. A warrior doesn't stop fighting just because the odds are stacked against them. They don't quit just because they're tired or frustrated. They keep going because they know that true strength comes from perseverance. And that's the kind of resilience you need to build if you want to train your mind like a warrior. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes to achieve your goals. You have to keep pushing forward, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Now, this doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. In fact, it's the opposite. You're going to face setbacks. You're going to face failures. You're going to have days where everything seems to be falling apart. But here's the secret. Those challenges are the very things that will make you stronger. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to grow. Every failure is a lesson that will teach you something important. And every setback is just a chance to get back up and try again. The key is how you respond. When you face adversity, do you crumble or do you stand tall? When things don't go your way, do you throw in the towel or do you push forward with even more determination? A warrior doesn't back down from a fight, no matter how hard it gets. And you need to adopt that same mentality. When life knocks you down, you get back up. When things don't go according to plan, you adjust your strategy and you keep moving forward. That's the mindset of a warrior. You also need to develop mental toughness. This is the ability to push through discomfort, to keep going when your body and mind are telling you to stop. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. You build it by challenging yourself, by stepping outside your comfort zone, and by pushing through the hard times when you don't feel like it. Every time you push yourself to keep going, every time you refuse to give up, you build more mental toughness. And mental toughness isn't just about doing the hard things, it's about doing them consistently. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's difficult, even when you're tired. Mental toughness is what keeps you going when everyone else has given up, and it's what will ultimately make you unstoppable. But here's the most important thing you need to remember. You can't train your mind like a warrior if you're not willing to embrace discomfort. Warriors don't shy away from challenges. They don't run from adversity. They face it head on, and they rise above it. If you want to train your mind like a warrior, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to face the things that scare you, the things that challenge you, and the things that make you doubt yourself. Because it's in those moments of discomfort that you'll find your true strength. So every day you need to take action. Every day you need to challenge yourself. Every day you need to make a conscious decision to train your mind like a warrior. And the more you do this, the stronger your mind will become. The more you practice, the more resilient you'll become, and the more disciplined you'll become. And soon you'll realize that the challenges you once feared are nothing compared to the strength you've built within yourself. As you continue to train your mind like a warrior, you'll notice something incredible happening. Your life will transform. You'll find that obstacles no longer have the power to stop you. You'll find that setbacks no longer discourage you. You'll find that no matter what comes your way, you can handle it. Because when you train your mind like a warrior, you become a force to be reckoned with. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. And when you train it to be focused, resilient and disciplined, you unlock your true potential. You become unstoppable. You become a warrior. And when you do that, there's nothing in this world that can stand in your way. So start today. Train your mind like a warrior, and watch as your life transforms.